As investigators work to uncover a motive behind all of this, many who knew the shooter are speaking out about the Thomas crooks they knew. One of them is Jim Knapp. He's a former Bethel Park guidance counselor who counseled crooks during high school. Mr. Knapp, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. And of course, our hearts go out to your community. Everybody I know out there is still grappling with all of this. But what can you tell us about crooks as a student? What did you observe?
Well, thank you, Jim. I have known Thomas since he was a sophomore in high school. And Thomas was a quiet young man, intelligent, stayed to himself. However, he was very, very intelligent, and his schoolwork was his top priority. In his senior year alone, he only missed 1 day of school. And I must say that's very unique for seniors because they always have a couple skip days in there and so on and so forth. So I can tell you that Thomas was a very intelligent, quiet, bright young man. But I do want to say, Jim, before I go on any further, I want to have to say that my deepest sympathies to the family up in Butler, where the father had passed away from the shooting. I feel horrible for that. I feel horrible for the people who've been shot, and I feel for Thomas's parents too, also, and the community of Bethel Park, because Bethel Park is a great community.
Yeah, I would echo all of that. And tell us, Jim, about the moment you found out that a former student was behind this assassination attempt. That must have been a huge shock.
It sure was. And it's almost like a movie. It's almost like a book that, you hear of all this. I've always seen on TV different scenarios like this, but I actually was part of it now. And I got the text Sunday morning, and my former principal texted me and told me what happened. And my stomach just went to the ground. The pit of my stomach ached. And it was a very deep time to discern, a very deep time to bring my faith into this, because I really rely on God. And I think that's where we need to go with this, because I believe evil is what overcame Thomas. And I believe evil is in the world. And I believe if we go back to a society where we have prayer, not just in schools, but prayer in society, we get more civilized. I look at the role modeling, and I say people need to role model for these young people in school. And if we have two gentlemen who are heading the country at this time who can't be civil to each other, that's a problem. And I can only hope that I heard President Trump saying he is going to reverse his character and become a more civil type individual. And I hope that happens.
Yeah, and Jim, I do want to ask you about this. A former classmate of Thomas apparently told the New York Times that other students would tease him and even call him a, quote, school shooter. Do you recall, was he bullied in high school?
Great question, Jim, and that question has been brought up to me before. I can adamantly say he was not.
Really?
And I say that really deeply because I've thought of this question. Anytime we get a tip on bullying, the administration at Bethel Park takes great pride in stopping it. As guidance counselors, all four of us were out and about amongst the school, and we made sure that if it was going on, we would stop it. But I can honestly tell you, there are no records even that Thomas was bullied. And if he was, I would be notified. Then I would call the parents, and then I would get his teachers involved too. But that did not happen. And I can say with speaking the truth, I was not aware of any bullying in that case.
And Jim, we also learned about a post that he made on some gaming platform called Steam that said July 13th will be my premiere. Watch as it unfolds. According to this briefing that the lawmakers up on Capitol Hill got yesterday from law enforcement officials, he was also interested in finding out about depression and treatment for depression. Does any of that ring a bell? Was he into gaming? Did he exhibit signs of depression? Did he ever talk to the school officials like yourself about being depressed?
He did not. And I can tell you that when I meet with kids once a year to go over their schedules for the upcoming year, I always emphasize to the kids at that time, come back and see me if you need help. I'll give you an example, Jim. He would sit in the cafeteria, and he would be by himself, and he would look at his phone. Now, what was he watching? I don't know. I'm hoping he's watching you, but I don't honestly know. And if he was gaming, he was into computers, He went to our VOTEC, which we call our Career and Technical Center. He went there for 2 years into computers. So yes, he was into computers. However, I was not aware of any depression. And if there would have been something, I'm not a mental health therapist, but I sure would have got our school social worker and I would have got our mental health therapist involved also.
All right. Well, it sounds like one of those situations where this was just flying under the radar. Folks just didn't pick up on it. If there were disturbing signs, it sounds like folks just didn't know about it. Is that the case? I mean, you've been talking to other folks around
Absolutely.
the community. Yeah.
Absolutely, Jim. And what I want to say to that is when he was in school 2 years ago, this young man was not, I mean, all of the traits that I'm hearing, he did not show those traits. Yes, he was quiet. The kids were saying he was bullied. I did not see that. Our school officials, I can honestly say, they probably did not see it either, or that would be coming out. I know the school right now is not allowed to say anything other than what our director of communications, Mr. Jim Cromie, had put out. But basically, I can tell you, I am not aware of any bullying that went on. I'm aware of a young man who was quiet, who walked the halls, went to class, only missed 1 day of his senior year, and he really was not, in my opinion, picked on.
All right, Jim Knapp, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
I thank you, Jim. Take care.